We're back for the final match. We're playing against MDVAYU. I feel like I just played against this guy, so I could probably figure out what kind of deck he's playing. Let me just look at my recently played games here. My computer's being a little laggy. Okay, we played against this guy and we lost. I think he was playing Burn. I'm just going to really quickly replay the game and find out what he was playing here. If he is playing Burn, that's nice because we have 2 Warmth in our sideboard. Oh, okay, this guy plays Elves. So we're going to need something... We're going to need... We are on the draw. This hand is decent, I guess. We can keep it. At least we have a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman, and then we can Wasteland him turn 2 and play a Pride Mage, or maybe play a Knight of the Reliquary, depending. I think it's better to ramp here than to try and wasteland his Dryad Arbor. Like, I think if we're going to get anything going against Elves, it's going to have to be ramping while denying him. So here's an opportunity to do just that. I'm going to play Wasteland. Let's Wasteland his Dryad Arbor. And then we can play another Deathrite Shaman. So that next turn we can Wasteland him and play a Knight of the Reliquary. He missed his second land drop, so I'm going to very aggressively Wasteland him. Alright, he's got a guy's Cradle here, so he could have a pretty explosive turn if he has Glimpse of Nature in his hand. Or Nettle Sentinel. Okay, I am really happy that that is all he was able to do. Because now I'm just going to Wasteland his Cradle and going to play a Knight. Alright, he's going to Glimpse. He's got another guy's Cradle, it looks like. This is a pretty bad matchup, and one that has made me definitely consider playing the new Thalia. Okay. 2 Symbiotes. And that's it. Okay, so that wasn't the worst Glimpse of Nature. One of the less scary ones. And we have another Wasteland. Ooh, Stoneforge Mystic is a pretty good draw here. Even though he has Wirewood Symbiote to blank GT, it gives us a plan for the long game. I'm going to destroy his Cradle. Now I'm going to play Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to get GT. And now I can Wasteland his Bayou as well. Or I could play the GT this turn. I think the best thing to do here is just Wastelanding him again. If we can keep his mana down, then there's a chance we just might be able to kind of mana screw him, and then if he uses Wirewood Symbiote, he might not be able to play the elf that he returns back and play it again. I do kind of have to hope he bricks on lands, though. So because of Knight of the Reliquary, I will be able to both play and equip the Jite the following turn. I can play the Forest, pay a mana, exile 2 lands with Deathrite Shaman, putting me up to 3 mana, then I can sacrifice my Forest with the Knight, maybe grab a fetch land, and then pay the 4th mana to be able to play and equip the Jite to the Stoneforge Mystic and attack. Okay, so he had a land and he played an elf. This is bad because now Heritage Druid is turned on and he can just kind of play out the rest of his hand. So we need to find a Green Sun Zenith so we can get a Scrib Ranger, or we need a Mother of Runes before we're going to be able to get in any damage off of this Jite. This is a very difficult matchup. And it's also pretty bad that he was able to play 2 Wirewood Symbiotes, because now, even if I draw Swords to Plowshares, I have to use it on one of the Symbiotes. So what is the best thing for me to do here? I think I play the Forest, tap Forest for mana, exile a Bayou for more mana, exile a Wooded Foothills for even more mana, use my Knight to get a Gaia's Cradle, I'm gonna play the Jite using green mana. I'm going to equip Jite to the Stoneforge. So now I have an option. I mean, he's going to block with Elvish Visionary and then return it, probably with Wirewood Symbiote. I think I'm just going to play Thalia to further prevent any Glimpse of Nature, Green Sun Zenith type stuff from happening for him. And then I can just play the Kasali Pridemage next turn. Kasali Pridemage not really going to do much here. So he's going to block, probably with the Visionary, maybe with the Deathrite Shaman though, because depending on how much mana he'll have access to next turn. Okay, yeah, the Elvish Visionary, that he's going to return it. So he's probably just going to eat one of my lands with his Deathrite Shaman, and then bounce his thing. Now the beauty of this is that I'm going to be able to start attacking here with the Knight, the Stoneforge, and the Thalia, and it's going to force him to start taking some damage. I mean, he can block 2 things and then return 2 things with his 2 symbiotes, but at least I'm a little more insulated from Glimpse of Nature or Natural Order just getting out of hand in one turn. This is actually a lot closer of a game than it usually is against elves. A lot of the time the writing is just kind of on the wall from the get-go, and they just have an explosive turn, and then they just Natural Order into Craterhoof. I'm just going to F6 here and let him do whatever he wants to do. Okay, so he's got Tropical Island, probably has like a Leovold or something in his deck for the blue mana. Yeah, it looks like he's going to play a Leovold. Alright. I'm fine with getting into a board stall because I think that favors me in the long run. I'm going to attack with Stoneforge and Knight of the Reliquary. We'll see what he does. If he blocks the Stoneforge with the Leovold, then I get some counters. My Stoneforge dies, but I would get some counters. So he's probably just going to block the Heritage Druid and then return it to his hand. I'm going to go ahead and fetch out a basic Plains. So that my Knight gets in for 8 damage here. And I guess I'll play Kasali Pride Mage. And I'll move the Jite onto Thalia. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. No creatures in any graveyard to exile with Deathrite Shaman, so I'm just going to pass back to him. So because I've been able to deny so many of his resources, I'm putting him into this position where he has to choose between taking damage and preventing me from getting counters a little bit. This is actually a pretty good game. A lot of interesting decisions to make in this game. I'd love to draw a Green Sun Zenith, though, I tell you that much. Okay, he's returned Deathrite Shaman to his hand. His board is definitely getting a little out of control, but he hasn't really left himself with many blockers for this next turn. And luckily he hasn't found a Quirion Ranger. So I get to at least exile his land without shrinking my knight to exile this Glimpse of Nature, put him down to 7 life. So let's see. If I attack with everything, he can block the G-Tade creature with the Visionary and bounce it. He can block something else, but whatever else he blocks is going to die. I think my best play here is to attack with everything. And then he takes 5 damage, I guess. He blocks the Thalia with the Visionary, bounces that. Maybe I should have equipped my Jite onto a different creature to try and get more damage in with Thalia. Yeah, I probably should have equipped it to the Stoneforge Mystic or something like that. Then I could have done a little bit more damage to him. Well, we'll see how he blocks here. Okay, he uses 1 Wirewood Symbiote to untap his Leovold. I'll probably block a Deathray Shaman, maybe the Pride Mage with the Leovold. He's gonna have to block the Knight with something. Alright, he blocks it with the Dryad Arbor. And I guess he takes 3 damage. Okay. So I could play my Thalia and equip the Jite to it. That's second Thalia. I think that's probably better than doing nothing. But chances are he'll probably just natural order me this turn and kill me. It was a close game anyhow. Really needed a Mother of Runes at some point to be able to force through the Knight of the Reliquary. Probably just casting Natural Order right now. that's that. Alright, we lost game 1, but game 2 we get some pretty good cards. We get to bring in Zealous Persecution, Abrupt Decay, and Canonist Priest. I think I'm going to bring in the Pithing Needle as well. What am I going to board out here? I'm going to board out Kasali Pride Mage. I think I'm going to board out Thalia or 2. I don't know how much I'm going to need the Sword of Fire and Ice. I could probably cut another Thalia. Let's see, I have 9 cards that I want to bring in for this matchup. I could probably cut a couple Knights of the Reliquary, because those aren't the best against Elves. I'm going to cut the Sylvan Library, and I need to cut one more card. Gaddock Teague is pretty good. 3 Stone Forges to find the GT faster, I guess. I can cut a 3rd Knight of the Reliquary, and then I think I'll just leave my deck like this. I'm pretty sure this is a good configuration to have when fighting against Elves. I'm going to submit that. We're going to play first, which is very important when playing against decks like Elves. We're going to keep this hand. We've got a good plan against him. I think, let's see. I think I'm going to lead off with Verdant Catacombs. I'm just going to go ahead and crack this now for a, I'm going to get a value. I'm fetching here so that I can thin my deck a little bit as I'm playing my stuff. I think the best thing to cast here is going to be Canonist. If he can only play 1 spell in the next turn, that's kind of a positive for me. So I can only cast 1 card. I think Gaddock is my strongest card. And now I have the option of trading an Ethersorn Canonist for a Dryad Arbor and an Elvish Visionary. That leaves him with a Deathrite Shaman and a Forest. I don't think I'm going to make that trade. Canonist is a lot better in the Aether Vial version of Maverick because you get to still keep deploying creatures even if you've already cast a creature this turn. Whereas in the Zenith version you can only cast kind of 1 spell, and most of your spells are sorcery speed, so not the greatest in this matchup, I guess. Ooh, Scribranger, that's pretty good. So we can cast something on our turn, then we can cast the Scribranger on his turn. I'm going to cast the Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to get a GT, because then we can play and equip it to the Scribranger the next turn. And then hopefully we can start mowing down some of his creatures if he doesn't somehow win this next turn. I could see him going Abrupt Decay on the Gaddock Teague and then untap, kills us with Natural Order maybe. Yeah, he's gonna decay something. Alright, he decays the Gaddock Teague. Well, depending on how explosive this turn is for him, we might be able to connect with GT the next turn because of the Scribranger we have in our hand. But it really depends on what he's got. If he has a Natural Order, it could just be game over. Because he swings with 2/4/4 Visionaries and a or actually 2 5/5 Visionaries and a 9/9 Craterhoof Behemoth. What could he have here? Okay, Greenstone Zenith X equals 3. Maybe a Reclamation Sage to destroy my Canonist? Probably. Well, we tried our best. But now he's got 2 7/7s and 11/11, so he's got a total of 25 damage. We can only prevent 3. That's going to be game. We have to concede. Alright, we gave it our best shot. We lost to an elf draw that was very good, but also fairly normal. That's just kind of what elves does. We went 2 and 3. Not the best record. It's possible that maybe Maverick just, I don't know, it might not be the best deck for this metagame. Sneak and Show is a pretty tough matchup. Grixis Delver is even matchup, and Elves is a tough matchup. I don't know. Maybe we do need to experiment with playing some number of the new Thalia to kind of swing that Elves matchup, so maybe I'll try switching the deck around, putting in some of that new Thalia, and then we'll try joining another league. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.